Now, when we're talking about thinking, people might think, well, wait a minute, if I don't think anymore, if I stop thinking altogether, how can I live my life? Impossible. But in actual fact, there are two kinds of thinking. And this is an important thing that we have to understand. I mean, on the one hand, there's intentional thinking, and then there's unintentional thinking. Now, I think that for most people, if they're honest, they will recognize that the unintentional thinking is much more, maybe 80%. Which means that you don't actually want to think anything, but thoughts, they just come up. I don't know where they come from. Maybe because the mind's been thinking for so long. But they just come unasked. They just come up by themselves. But intentional thinking means that you're actually using thought. I mean, it's necessary for thought. For instance, I'm talking right now. Before I talk, I have to think. Otherwise, I couldn't talk. But this is intentional thinking. So I'm using my thought rather than being used by thought. So this is a very important distinction you have to make. I mean, at the point where you need to use thought, you use intentional thinking, which is coming from a certain level of wisdom, you could say, which is appropriate in the situation. All right, then you choose to think. You can still use your thinking capacity, and it's actually more effective. But when you don't need to think, then you're just aware. And so the unintentional thoughts, you can do something about that by developing awareness.